is it that a single cherry can cost the same as an entire apple pie? And what exactly is the economic sense in this? Well, what if I told you that every use we see of the bit in Friendship is Magic actually makes far more sense than we give the show credit for? Don't believe me? Well, by the end of the video, I'm sure...
I haven't done a few in a while. What can I think too much about this time? What the... Who the hell are you?
I'm falling!
I can see that, but why? You have wings.
Oh yeah! Name's Starstrike.
Hi, Starstrike. I'm Doc. What are you doing here?
Well, I was just about to do a video calculating the value of a bit when my background ate me!
What a coincidence! I was pondering what theory to do next. Wanna do a collab?
Well, the YouTube gods seem to demand it, so why not?
But how do we do that? The value of the bit is so inconsistent across the show. I mean, just look at a few scenes. One time, 2 bits were used to buy 1 cherry, and then they used the same amount to buy 3 tomatoes later.
Ah, you have to look at the context, Doc. The farmer likely sells his cherries in small amounts for 1 bit each. Small enough amounts that he still believes that he can get away with selling a single cherry for 1 bit, even if he might normally sell 10 for 1 or 2 bits. The reason he is jacking up the price here is because Fluttershy told him that she desperately needs the cherry. After some back and forth negotiating the price, he starts getting tired of bargaining, and so when this other pony comes along with an offer for 2 bits, he is willing to sell because that is still a significant amount more than what he originally gained from it.
But why would any pony pay so much for a single cherry?
She just really wants a cherry.
Okay, that's believable.
Although this doesn't explain how 3 tomatoes cost the same as an entire apple pie.
I actually have an idea why. AJ is selling that pie, and she's used to the prices on the farmer's market. Pie prices fluctuate heavily, and can actually be that low, at least if we take into account that the apples grow their ingredients themselves, and don't have to work with an expensive supply chain. It's still a little low, but it's the honest price of the apples. And with that knowledge we can actually figure out how much a bit would be in our world. 3 tomatoes were around £1 and cost around 1 to 2 euros, which for my viewers in other parts of the world equals to about $1 to $2.
So in short, 1 bit equals $1. This seems to be a pretty consistent theme throughout the show. If we take a look at how much a mug of cider costs, we can see that it comes to 2 bits, which sounds about right for a beverage.
The problem with that is the amount of money Pinky paid for her mugs. She drank 1 and took 9 more with her, but she definitely paid more than 20 bits.
Seeing as how she's the only one that's overpaying, likely what's happening here is that she is reserving some for later and couldn't carry any more than that.
That's not the real answer.
What are you talking about?
You know what I mean.
Oh yeah, it's Pinkie Pie, don't question it.
Exactly. But there's one time we have to question her, and that is on the train ride to Griffinstone, where she pays a horrendous amount of bits for tons of concessions on the train. I understand that the apples don't react to Pinky's shenanigans, but why is this pony just accepting it?
Simple. The price she paid is the price they cost.
You can't be serious. She is clearly overpaying.
Under normal circumstances, I would say yes. But these are concessions. And concessions, as anyone who has ever been to a ball game knows, are ridiculously overpriced. Take the price of, say, a hot dog. I have seen hot dogs selling for 50 cents each, but I've also seen them being sold at concession stands for $5. That's 10 times the price.
Oh yeah, that makes sense for train rides in general. The food at such things is always way more expensive than usual. Maybe a pie that normally is 1 bit costs up to 10 bits, which actually makes Pinky's bag of bits look like a reasonable amount for all those sweets, even if he should act a bit more surprised that one individual buys all those concessions. There is one big thing that still bothers me about bits though, and that's the silver bits.
The what?
Silver bits? They were used once by Fluttershy in the episode Magical Mystery Cure.
Silver bits? What the heck are silver bits? You're telling me that they appear once, and only once, for a brief moment to pay for a balloon ride? How in Equestria are we supposed to calculate that?
You wanna calm down there?
I will not calm down. It is very important that we have an exact calculation for the value of a fictional currency in a land of talking colorful horses learning about friendship.
That sounds like the least important thing actually. But if you care about it that much, let's find out. A balloon ride probably doesn't cost as much in Equestria as it costs here, but we can still assume that it's not cheap. So 4 bits would be a little unrealistic. You wouldn't even cover the needed fuel with that. So my guess is that the silver bits are worth more than the golden ones. Maybe about 30 bits. Which would amount to about 120 gold bits for a ride to Cloudsdale, which, with real world balloon prices in mind, wouldn't be that expensive, but still would explain the use of silver bits. Now that I've thought about it a little, I want to figure it out completely too.
I don't think it's actually possible for us to get an exact value with this one purchase. I imagine balloon rides in a world where flight is so common are not nearly as expensive as they would be in our world.
But if we assume that, it doesn't make sense for Pinky to take a bag of gold bits for something that would be more convenient to use silver bits for.
Let me ask you a question. Out of all the main 6, which one do you think would be most likely to buy a car with nothing but $1 bills?
Fair enough, Pinky would be the one to do that. And now that I think about it, when Trixie used the bag of bits, it also has another explanation outside of the dramatic effect. She worked her flank off to slowly gain all those bits. She slowly acquired little amounts, and all those little jobs made her gather this high amount of gold bits, instead of just a few silver bits with the same worth. I don't think working on a rock farm would get you anything more than a few gold bits a day.
Now there's only one thing left to calculate.
What would that be?
Something seemingly impossible. Something that has given theorists and analysts headaches for years.
No. You don't mean...
Yes, I do mean. We must calculate the cost of Twilight's overdue library book.
You are a mad pone.
The total cost of Twilight's overdue library book came to 28 bits. We are also told that the cost caps at a month. If we assume that the month is 28 days, then that means the cost is 1 bit per day. The only problem with this is that Twilight doesn't seem to be going off of that system. It seems as though she is concerned about the price going up significantly every few hours throughout the episode, as if there is some form of multiplication system going on, getting more expensive with each passing day or even hour.
I honestly would just put it off as Twilight being Twilight and Twilighting. She's stressing way too much about the whole situation. I don't want to say that she's making up some equation or numbers, but that's what it honestly seems like to me. It's unlike her not to know such an essential rule for the library, but she just never had to worry about that particular rule before. There are a few contradictions in that situation. I would still think she knows all the rules inside and out, but I still think Twilighting is the answer. Well, not doing it yourself, but her doing it, which causes her to stress so much.
Even still, I think Twilight has to be getting the idea of a multiplication system from somewhere. It would be really strange if she just made one up out of the blue. And even Spike seems to know what the payment system is, seeing as how he is calculating it for Twilight.
Oh well, I guess we'll never know. Do you have any idea how that whole payment system works? Especially regarding the payment we just discussed? Let me know. Like, comment.
Wait! I managed to calculate the value of the silver bit! You see, if we take the value of the standard bit, then account for inflation as well as the total distance traveled between Cloudsdale and Ponyville, keeping in mind the cost of time and fuel, 4 silver bits comes out to... animation error.
Okay, then we just have to accept that Cherryberry is being horrifically underpaid.
Bah!
Thanks to my patrons, especially Farley and Winnieberry, and until next time, Fellow Bronies, Bonnie Fellas, and bye.